Nah, 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 that don't kill me will only make me stronger. Oh, yeah. They thought they could hold me down. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're going live on YouTube. YouTube. Amazing. How are you? Can you guys see me? Let me know. I've never done this before, I don't think. Yes, I'm back. Back is the incredible Ram Animal. Yes, with all coffeeed up. Yes, I am. Oh, Crockett coffee. Mm-mm. So, let me tell you a story. Um, so what just happened, just so you guys know, hang on a minute, I'm going to try and post this on, let's see if I can post this over on the X. Let's see what happens today. So this feels very weird. This feels very strange doing it like this, but I don't care because you know what? I just had a little bit of a panic because I went out. So when you do these streams, you can either do it like this, which is direct to YouTube, or you have this program and you go in, it lets you do all the, the trailers and all that and bring up all the chirons and everything. And so I was doing that and I went in there and it showed me my picture and it showed me uh, everything else, everything's set out like it normally does, and you press a couple of buttons and it goes, right? It wouldn't go. It wouldn't pick up the picture. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because it just shows you done it. I wanted to come out and talk about a lot of positive stuff today. So I'm going to keep going back and seeing if I can get over to that. No, I'm not. Forget it. I don't care. How are you guys today? This is going to be interesting because I think I've only done this once like this. So let's see. Let's see how many people come over. Let's see how many people figure out we're here and come over because we've been doing pretty well recently. Things have been growing. The channel's been growing. People have been talking to one another. So it shows that quite a few people have been watching on X. So let's see if they come over here. So I had a long conversation with, you know what, let me move down a little bit. Watch this. There you go. I'm a little bit OCD about getting like everything balanced right, you know. So I'm not gonna be very happy with that's two things that have gone wacky on me, by the way. My thing that makes the clips and that service. So, anyways, um, I'm watching what you guys are saying here, by the way. Watching. I was talking to Matt Peterson yesterday. If you didn't see the live stream with Matt Peterson, please go and watch it because it was really great. It was really great. I had such a great time talking to Matt. Those are our conversations. That's our Friday nights, Thursday nights when we sit down with a glass of wine and we talk about the world and about the way things are and how Tanya, thank you very much. Can you believe it? By the way, can you believe it? The other day that I had someone who posted something, I was like, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, you need to go to the gym and sculpt your face. And I was like, I just had throat surgery. My throat, you can still see where the bruising is. The all the glue and everything, it still hasn't come off, right? No, Crazy Cook. Matt Peterson is well. I think I'll let him. He's not on vacation. He's moving on. Let's just put it like that. He's moving on. It's all good, but he's moving on. Well, thank you, Tanya. I think they are too. I don't know what of, but I'll take it. But I've been thinking a lot about the state of the world. I know that sounds like some kind of really grandiose statement, but I really am. I've been thinking about that a lot about why there's a lack of hope in the world. And I don't know if it's because I don't know. I mean, there are many reasons. I think I was watching something the other day, and they were saying how working class people, which is I'm one of them, are really. By the way, if you can hear crunching, it's Archer chewing a bone in the background. The working class people, like regular folk, and I don't mean I don't want to count anyone out of that when I say regular folk, but you know what I mean, like people who just live a regular life. And I have been trying to do that for quite some time. I recognized that I didn't want the Hollywood way of life. It just didn't it didn't appeal to me. But people are feeling what's going on right now. Certainly if you are Generation X and above, we understand that there's been something very different going on. Something very, very different. People just seem to lie. They have no shame about lying. It used to be that that was extremely shameful if you were a liar. No, not anymore. They don't care. And the more we're seeing come out of the federal government, right? We're seeing all this stuff. We're seeing the fact that the FBI was spying on Republicans. Makes a lot of sense to me. And you wonder why nothing ever got done. I just don't know how deep it goes in the government and how that poison has kind of trickled down to the rest of the country, because these people only care about themselves. They do not care about you at all. At all. They don't care about me at all. Really. The only thing they care about is whether or not we're going to vote for them. And really, the Democrats are so bad that they know they've got a easy job, don't they? They don't have to work for it. It's like the Democrats and the black vote. They don't have to work for it. Well, how has that worked out for African Americans? Well, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same stuff over and over again and expecting different results. So, what we've seen, and that's what I was trying to get across with Matt Peterson the other day, is we have moved so far away from what America was intended to be that it really is kind of unrecognizable. And it's difficult for those of us that are a little bit older to really understand and go, hang on a second, like for me, when I came to America, I came in 2000. That's 25 years ago. It's 25, that's quarter of a century ago. So if you look at, I was born in 73, so 73, 63, 53, and then another 5, 48, you're looking the Second World War, right? Wasn't that far ago, like 25 years before, a little bit longer. But if you look at that and you see how far we've moved from the Second World War to the 70s, and then on from there, the Western civilization is completely unrecognizable. And we're at a really kind of bad place right now. But the good thing about that is that, guess who just walked in? All right, I've got to try and do it because he's going to get mad if he doesn't come up and say hello. But I've been telling him he can't jump up me because I'm still not healed properly. But let's give Archer the Wonder Dog just a little bit of it. Come on then. Come on. All right, you got to jump up then. You got to jump up. All right, there you go. There you go. I know. Daddy loves you. And he's been so, oh, don't do that with your paw. He's been so, oh, there you go, right in the mush. He has been so upset that he can't like be with me all the time. He wonders what he's been doing wrong. You haven't been doing anything wrong. And I did this to him the other day and he loves it. I was just like kissing him. Come on, go down. Come on, good boy. Look, he's like, no, Dad, I don't want to go. I gave the people what they want, Archer, and they want you. I'm telling you. Yeah, so Tanya just said, saw me on Top of the Pops. It's funny because I got, some people don't realize like what they say sometimes. I had someone say to me the other day, they were like, "Ah, Matt, you know what? You were really handsome back then." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. I didn't see, but I mean, clearly, if you're saying that you were handsome back then, it means they don't think you are now." And I'm like, I'm an old man. I'm an old man, and I don't care. But some people don't even think, do they? They don't even think about what they say, and you're like, just keep taking the punches. You know what's funny? Actually, I got up. You know what's happening right now? I just got Archer a pull toy, and he's got his toys in. He's playing with them in the corner of the room. So, what they say, never work with children and animals. Yeah, Zephyr, that's the point, right? Like people don't understand that, they don't even look at themselves, right? When they say things like that. I mean, I don't care. The funny thing is when I was on TV and when I was on all those magazines and whatever, I never saw myself like that. So it's not really a thing that I'm like, oh, because I never really saw myself like that. And I think that is, there's a lot of people that have got absolutely no reason to have egos, and it's insufferable. And so, it's funny. I was very, very lucky, right, that I did get to go into television shows and whatever. And a lot of people, can lose their minds when they get, money and power and fame and all that. And it's very difficult, by the way. I mean, for the Americans here to understand, uh, to understand like how massive Coronation Street was, the show that I was on back then. It was absolutely massive. But anyway, I'll take that nutmeg. I'll take that. But it was never something, I've never been concerned about it, and it's never been something I've ever thought of myself. So that's kind of funny. Hold on one second. Okay, go on. Can you take Doggo, please? This is my wife right now, like going, come on. And he's like, no, I'm staying right here with Dad. He's not going. So, oh, no. Anyways, oh, finally he's gone. You know where he went? My 2-year-old just walked out, and he loves my 2-year-old. I think he's like, he's saying he's like part of the pack. So, anyways, hold on one second. I've never used this. This is kind of funny. So I'm going to put that out there. Let's try this. Boom. All right. I'm putting that up there. I'm going to try some stuff. I'm going to try some stuff today because I've never done this before. So, all right. So what was my point of this whole session? This is why, you're on the spiritual battlefield. And the more and more that I try and do good things, and this has been something since, I came out against COVID and all that, you get attacked. Like literally today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a show and it's going to be all positive. We're going to talk about the things that were great when we were growing up and all the things that we need to do to move forward and project a a positive image moving forward, a positive vision for the country, and I couldn't get on. Isn't that interesting? I could not get on. And I'm like, you know what? This is an opportunity. Let's just see how many people come over. We haven't got anywhere near the numbers that we normally have when it streams on X as well. But, there you go. If they're going to come over, they're going to come over. If they don't, they don't. We keep our little community here. It's all good. So I was speaking to Matt Peterson yesterday and this morning, and I had a very, very strange experience last night. Very, very strange experience. When you go on social media and you might scroll up a little bit, right? See what's going on. You get into one thing. I always go to that one thing, nature is metal. I love that. You see that and you see all the crazy stuff that people film. Still, they have all that crazy stuff, but they can't find pictures of the naked kids that were apparently tied up in Chicago. We'll talk about that kind of stuff in a minute. But I just had like message after message after message of things that I don't normally look at. And, I told you guys when I was in the bedroom and just looking at the walls, right, while I was recuperating from my surgery, I did a lot of thinking. And then I saw something yesterday. It was like, if you spend 30 minutes quiet thinking, then you're going to come up with solutions for things. Your brain is going to quieten down. I was like, that's really weird because I experienced that last week. Now, we know that they target you, right? We know that the machines are listening, but I was like, that is so weird. Yes, I did Zephyr, but this is the thing. This is what you're seeing about our side. They won't back us. That's the problem. Let me try it again. I'll put another one over. Let me just try this. Let's see. I'll put it again. So what's my point? Well, firstly, that was weird, right? That was very, very, very strange. Because that's exactly what happened to me 2 weeks ago. Sitting really thinking about things. For example, I've been someone who has thrown a lot of elbows in the past, right? And I was thinking, because it's part of who you are, right? If you're a fighter, you're part of a fighter, and you respond like a fighter. Each part of you, sorry, is like a fighter. Um, and it's very difficult to get out of that mode, especially when you're being attacked, right? You guys know this. If you're being attacked, you go, you know what? I need to fight back. And I've done that my whole life. Done it since I was a kid, being told that I wouldn't succeed. And so I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not, you say I'm not going to succeed. That's going to make me work twice as hard, 3 times as hard. And then I started seeing all these, again, another bunch of videos come up. It was like, the man that succeeds and blah, 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 but, never stop fighting. And I'm like, this is very strange because I was thinking it, right? I didn't say it's not like they picked up on it. You know what I mean? It's not like they could have heard it. Very, very weird, like really weird. And because here's the thing, guys, we need to have a positive vision for the future. And we don't have one right now. And the communists, because that's who they are. I make no mistake, like we are dealing with full on communism, and it's very, very well funded, really well funded. And a lot of the people on our side are complete cucks and they're afraid or they've got their own agendas and or they want to grift or they want to make money. So that makes it very difficult for people like me who I'm not going to bend the knee. So people, the general public need to understand this. It's great that they're getting their information, but who's pulling the strings? And if you think that people don't have an agenda out there, then you know you are foolish. So again, I wanted to, sometimes I get all fired up and but I've been a lot more thoughtful recently about what's going on because it's very easy actually to respond, right? It's very easy to respond like that. It's very easy to get the clicks like that. But what is it actually doing? I mean, when you're talking about things like terrorist attacks and whatever, of course, that is, if you're not passionate about that, then you might as well just pack it all in, right? Because you don't have a soul. And then when you see the way that the other side behaves, the left, they're all maniacs that behave like little children. And so being a calming voice isn't sexy, right? It's not sexy coming on and saying, hey, listen, we've got to do more stuff, right? We've got to do more stuff. And part of that, part of what was motivating me for this conversation, hang on one second, let me have some groggy coffee. Uh-huh. All right. Do you know that song "Don't Look Any Further"? Do you remember that from the 80s with Seda Garrett? It's a great song. That, for some reason, came in front of me yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that song. Ba-da-bee-oo. You know that one. And what's funny was I was like, because I've had this surgery, I have no top range for my voice right now. Now, I hope it'll come back. But if it doesn't, I'm stuck. And I have been, behind the scenes, because for those of you who don't know, I had a recording contract and I haven't sang in 30 years. I mean, I sing for myself but I haven't gone out and performed and sang for a very, very long time. And of course, when things come out like, oh, you're on Top of the Pops this week, or oh, look at this video of you singing back then, I was like, you know what, maybe I should get back into it and do a little bit of it because, I really loved it at the time, but my registry now is lower. So, this morning when I was like, I heard that song yesterday, and so what it did first was like it shot me back in time, and I was like, man, I was so optimistic back then, and I'm not just talking about me being young, right? Because I had absolutely no reason to be optimistic, right? Came from a broken home, had no money, wanted to be an actor, which was never going to happen, right? Like, who does that? Or wanted to go into the music industry, that kind of ship had sailed many years before when you could actually go out and do stuff and get signed because this was the era of Stock Aitken and Waterman, and they were, which by the way, Mike Stock follows me on X, and I knew Pete Waterman. I don't know Aitken, but I worked with Pete Waterman. But then they were just picking people off TV and making them massive stars, right? Like massive stars. And I didn't want to do that. So I was like, that's all gone. But I just had a dream. Like, I really did have a dream. I wanted to do it. I wanted to act. And although if you look back then, there was nothing that would ever say, apart from the talent that I had, that I got into National Youth Theatre at like 14 or 15, however old I was when I did that, that's a stamp of excellence, right? So if you can get into that, then you are very, very good. And if you guys go and have a look at the alumni, is it? The alumni from the National Youth Theatre. It's like a who's who of massive stars. I just it's very strange. I just couldn't imagine it not working out for me. Now, if you look right now, if you are a 15-year-old young boy or young girl and you say, I want to get into acting or I want to get into music, well, what chance do you have? What chance do you have now of doing it? Now, it's a lower barrier to entry because you have computers, you can record something that would have cost thousands and thousands before. Like you can record a song. I mean, right here, if I wanted to, I could record a song on this and do an album on this, on the little setup that I have here. But there's no filter for excellence. And you might say, oh, well, the filter for excellence is whether or not it goes viral. We know that that isn't true. We know that things are stacked the other way. Like we know the way that the Democrats influenced the 2020 election. So we know this. So it's not a fair playing field at all. Every now and then something will break through. And that is why right now you have a real lack of great musicians. So if you look back, I said this to Darren X and I was like, here we go. By the way, JMC, yeah, the music was a notorious industry to break. Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, people don't understand this when they go, oh, you only had 2 hit singles. Blah, blah. I'm like, do you understand what a big deal it is to even get a contract? Like, that was so difficult. But anyway, you're in a situation now where there's not any good music. I mean, the music is very, very, very poor across the board. And I said on X this morning, and I didn't want to get the ire of Taylor Swift or the Swifties, but Taylor Swift would have just been another artist in the 80s. That doesn't mean that she's not great. It's just that there were so many great people back then. And are you saying that Taylor Swift is better than Prince? Really? I mean, she's a great songwriter, right? And writes fantastic songs. I mean, I don't really listen to them, but I'm not a hater, you know. But is she a multi-instrumentalist like Prince that can write songs, that can dance, that is a virtuoso guitarist, one of the best ever? So, I mean, you're ticking off all these different skill sets, right? Michael Jackson, one of the greatest dancers of all time, amazing voice, fantastic songwriter, brilliant businessman, crazy man. But, look at that. Are you telling me that she would be anywhere near Michael Jackson? What about George Michael? Multi instrumentalist, songwriter, one of the greatest voices of all time. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, she wouldn't stand out, that's for sure. Even if you look at someone like Tina Turner. I mean, think about the massive stars we had back then. Just giant stars. And then let's look at movies. What did you have in movies? Well, you got someone like Mel Gibson, who is a massive star. And he goes off and he's an even better director than he is an actor. And he's a fine actor, but he's an even better director and makes some of the greatest movies of all time. Then you got Clint Eastwood. For Clint, see Mel. One of the greatest actors of all time, better director. I mean, we don't have anyone like that right now. There's nobody that can do that. Nobody. I'm seriously trying to think. Maybe Ben Stiller. I love Ben Stiller, even though he's a crazy liberal. But I mean, I actually think as well that he will talk to you. Like, I've had some interactions with Ben Stiller on X, and he's been really pleasant. Um, and I think he's a genius. I think he's a comedic genius, and it's actually more difficult because he grew up in Hollywood, so it's actually more difficult, I think, to be that talented. But if you look at it, there's nobody else outside of him. I mean, he directed The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is a fabulous film, man. It's an absolutely fabulous film. And Tropic Thunder is probably my favorite comedic movie of all time. I mean, part of that is because there's a lot of Rambo references that a lot of people don't get, but I get them. By the way, let me go and have a look right now. I'm going to go and see if, not that I'm going to move from this to the other one, but I'm going to go and see. Oh, I can't do it because I think it'll cut you guys off. Oh, well, we'll see it later. Tanya, Brad Pitt doesn't direct anything. I haven't known him direct anything. I think that Brad Pitt grew as an actor as he got older, and I think he's a really good actor now. I don't think he was a great actor like back in the day. I think he was fantastic in Seven. But when you're that handsome, and let's face it, he really is that handsome. You can't get past the face, right? You can't get past the face and the body, and that's kind of difficult. And I think you're seeing this now with The Rock. He just did this movie, and everyone's going, "Well, he can act." Well, if you've done a number of movies, you've got to be talented. I had that instant. I had an incident like that with Keira Knightley where I auditioned with her, and she was phenomenal. I'd actually got the role, she hadn't, and she was unbelievable. And I said to the director, I'm like, that girl is a giant star. Then she got Pirates of the Caribbean, and everyone was saying that she was a terrible actor. I'm like, she's not a terrible actor. Like, she is phenomenal. And you know that when you're opposite them. And she was just unbelievable. So, and by the way, I actually think this controversial take, I think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Quentin Tarantino's best ever movie. I think it's amazing. Amazing, But my point is this. We used to get excited about things. We used to get hyped up. We used to sit by the radio and listen for the top 10. Who was coming out with it? If you were certainly when I was a kid, it was like Duran Duran or Wham, or it's like, who's going to get in higher? You had your Whammies or whatever they were called, and you had your Duranis, and everyone's like, who's going to get in the top? And it was kind of exciting and sweet and fun. And then when a movie was coming out, I remember going to see Back to the Future, and it was just, even though I look at it now, I'm like, it's kind of a weird movie. I loved it. I was obsessed with that movie and the song that came with it. So I used to listen to The Power of Love over and over and over and over and over again. And I just used to imagine, this was my, however old I was when that came out, like 10-year-old Matt, maybe 12-year-old Matt, just kept dreaming of coming to America. And then 20 years later, I'm right on the set at was it Universal Studios? I think it was Universal Studios. Could have been Warner Brothers. Universal, where it had the fire. Yeah, Universal had the fire. Where we shot 2.5 Men. No, it was Warner Brothers. Was it Warner Brothers? Anyway, the clock tower was there. Let me see where the clock tower was. I've done a lot of television shows. So I'm just trying to remember where it was. I thought it was Universal Studios. Yeah, it was Universal Studios. So what was I doing there? Oh, you know what? I was doing the Ghost Whisperer. I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. I know that I did 2.5 Men on the Warner Brothers lot because it was really amazing actually. As me and my friends came to see me because you do a live session, and I was like, this is great, coming from theater background, and a lot of American actors don't like that because they don't have any theater background. So I was like, this is great. So you do the session in front of a live audience. And as I was leaving with two of my friends, I saw this Mercedes drive up next to me, and it slowed down because for us, we would walk across to the parking lot. So you come out of Warner Brothers, and then right across the street, Forest Lawn, is the parking lot. So it's the fastest way for me to get in, apart from driving in the lot. And a lot of the times when you drive into the lot, it's to go and visit the studio executive. Those were the days. It's funny. I used to do that multiple times a week, and just took it for granted. This is why it's so insidious when they cancel you. And so, anyways, this Mercedes slows down and stops, and the window goes down, and it's John Cryer, and he says, "Hey guys, did you have a good time tonight?" And they were like, "Yeah, John, thank you, yeah." And he was like, "Great, great, good to see that." And that is why I'm really saddened at what he says online, because he was the sweetest man, and I defended him for a long time with conservatives, because he was so sweet and very, very kind. And then you see the stuff that people put out on social media, and you're like, I don't know what to say about that. But he was absolutely lovely. But my point is, we had a lot of good times, didn't we? We had a lot of good times, and we were facing thermonuclear war. So it's kind of weird. We literally had the worry, and I'm like, if you think about it, like, going underneath your desk ain't going to do shit. But we were happy. We had ambition. We had leaders that we could believe in. I mean, what would you give now for a Ronald Reagan? I'll tell you this: I'd give my left arm for a Pope John Paul II. We had Mother Teresa. We had Maggie Thatcher. We had all these great leaders that really loved their country. And even from then till now, it's a different world. They would not recognize this country. And so here's what I'm going to say to you guys, and I want you to think about this. By the way, come on, I'm just putting this out. Not one super chat. Not one super chat. Really? Not one super chat? Come on now. Working for free over here. It's really quite amazing that we don't have hope, and people don't have hope. They don't have hope. And I realized something yesterday. Again, I'm having all these revelations right now. And here's what my revelation is. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come on, let's see. Let's see. Are you ready? You want to hear my revelation? It's not, it's kind of, there you go. There you go. Dale in the hizzle was like, I'm going to be the first one. This is what I'm talking about. Sparkly line for you, Dale. Be like Dale. Be awesome. Thank you, Dale. I'm just waiting. Oh, Mikey D. Listen, I'm telling you, there's something going on. And I always think that when I'm over the target on something, like really over the target on something, like normally we get 1,800 people, or at least about 800 people watching this. And today we've got 38 because it's on YouTube, which is not a lot at all, but that's okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay. The British are slaves to the government. They abdicated their responsibility as individuals to the government and wanted the government to save them or do all the kind of work that they don't want to do. All right. Americans slaves to corporations. They've allowed corporations to get bloated. They've allowed, and I'm one of them. This is a mea culpa. I'm in both. You know, I'm in both camps, aren't I? The fact that healthcare costs so much is an abomination. The fact that the insurance companies charge me the same for 2 months of my car insurance as they do my sister for 12 months of car insurance is an abomination. The fact that our foods are poisoning us is an abomination. So, what we have really, like, the Brits don't have shitty food. The Brits in Europe, they don't have shitty food. They don't. But they're under an authoritarian government. They also have cheap healthcare. Now, we, on the other hand, have really expensive healthcare. We have a lot more freedoms. We can have guns. We can, we have the free speech. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have all those things. But we are slaves to the corporations. Wages have kind of gone like this, and house prices have gone like that, right? And it's because I said this the other day, this idea of the rugged individualist. It's a bullshit idea, guys. We got to get away from it. It was never intended to be used like this. Like, you go out, you make as much money as you want, and you screw everybody on the way. If you can get like 80% markup or 70% markup, you do that. Oh, I love Joan Lovelace. You are amazing. The last thing to come out of Pandora's box was hope. Well, this is what I'm trying to do. Of course, you get a sparkly lion. We got 2. We got 8 to go before we get to a Q&A, and I will answer anything that you ask me. So, what do we do about it? The only way that we can do anything about it is by empowering the people. And again, it's very difficult when that is the voice that I'm trying to put out there. I'm trying to get some kind of a groundswell, but do it organically and say things that people don't want to hear. And what I love about this group is you guys are fearless. Oh, we're running out of time. We got 1 minute 07 to get all these. That was quick, wasn't it? 1 minute 07 to get those super chats in. Now, clearly people don't want to ask me questions, but there you go. That's all right. I don't care. I love my people. I love my people. My people are awesome. We need hope. We need a groundswell of people to come together and build a community, which is what we're doing here. But we need it to happen faster because the left organizes really well. And that's because they're very well funded. There's a whole lot. Oh, they're very well funded. And the people that do it are useful idiots. They are so stupid. They're so stupid. They don't even realize. It's like Gays for Palestine. It's like, what are you even thinking? Like, you guys are just ridiculous. Right? I mean, that's just. A lot of that has to do with people feeling guilty about their privilege. I think this came up the other day with this Gary Neville thing where you're looking, the guy who played for England, he's played for Manchester United since he was a kid. He's never really lived in the real world. And he comes on and he blames middle-aged white men for the trouble in the UK. What are you even talking about? And I think a lot of that has to do with the guilt that he was massively successful from a very young age and made loads of money, That's just my take on it. And, you know, I don't begrudge him. He's made millions and millions of pounds, and that's great. And he's represented his country. He was a fantastic footballer, but he's just wrong. He's just absolutely wrong. And the only way that we can combat this, because the left has all the money, because the right is too busy going out there and trying to make money. So when you turn, oh, there you go. Look at that. Mikey D in the hizzle schnizzle, my nizzle. I do believe I had to do something here. Hold on a second. Mikey D. This is really interesting. I'm seeing these new things. Okay. If we don't start really mobilizing and doing things are going to get really bad. So there's a multiple different things that are happening right now in the United States and the UK. All right. And part of it is we have no hope. Thank you, Courtney. You are so sweet. You like my cut? We have no hope because there's no one out there making beautiful things. Because if you see something beautiful, it fills you with hope, fills you with wonder. When was the last time you went outside and looked at a bird and was like, that is just miraculous? Like, how did that happen? And by the way, I know this is a controversial take for some people because they'll say, I believe in intelligent design. I think that you can have intelligent design and, set the ball rolling with an animal and it change over time. But that's pretty much, the fact that they think that they said that we kind of came from a single cell organism is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we have to start seriously looking at this. And I think that this is why a lot of people are going back to church, because I think that they've looked at science. A lot of people think that science and faith are separate. They're not at all. They're absolutely intertwined. They're absolutely one and the same. They complement one another. And so what happened years ago is we started moving away from that. This is all relevant, right? Because communists are atheists. They have no God. They do not believe that there is an ultimate arbiter of what is good and what isn't. And so that is a very, very dangerous ideology. It's an evil ideology, and it has to be taken on. And I think that right now we're still in the phase where we can defeat it by showing a alternative to what they're showing. Because you look at what's going on right now, and let's look at what they're doing with ICE. All of a sudden, ICE is being demonized. Why? I said it the other day, and I'll say it over and over again. Charlie Kirk was murdered in cold blood, and he wasn't even, his body wasn't even cold, and they were still calling people Nazis and the Gestapo and this and that. These are evil people, guys. They're really evil people. Or if they're not evil, they're mentally disturbed. But it doesn't matter, does it? Right? Either way, it doesn't matter. They have to be extracted from society. You have to be careful the way you say that. I mean, they need to be taken away or put somewhere else. That's what needs to happen to them. And I think that we're seeing this. And I don't know if I think that the deployment of the National Guard is a recognition of what's going on. And I think that they know that things are way, way worse than we know about. I think things are way, way worse. And if let's just say you have one terrorist cell in wherever it might be. By the way, one of the ways of doing this that you would execute it is by doing decoys. because if you're going to send the National Guard in to defend everybody because you're going to hit somewhere, so people don't, they're not intelligent enough to think. They're too busy, right? If you found out that there was, let's say there was a terrorist cell in Dearborn, Michigan, what would you do? You wouldn't just immediately deploy troops to Michigan on their own. You would deploy them in a couple of other places as well. And then you'd deploy them in Michigan. And then you'd hit the terrorist cell because you wouldn't want the terrorist cell to go. If you think we don't have massive amounts of terrorists in this country, you are sorely mistaken. There are huge numbers here. Now, as I said the other day, in the UK, there is around 45 or 41,000 terrorists in the UK. They don't know how to cope with that. Imagine getting into government and them going, well, you got like 41,000 terrorists or 43,000 people on the terrorist watch list. You'd be like, now, I wouldn't, because I'd get the SAS and I'd go, all right, guys, go and get them all. They're going. They're gone tomorrow. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. I don't care about the protests. They've all got to go because my priority is the safety of my citizens. They're all gone. And you've got to have the moral conviction to know that you are in the right when you're doing it. And we don't understand this right now. We don't understand that this is literally a battle for our civilization. And there are groups of people that want to destroy it. And that includes the communists. Like, we're at a very bad place and we need to have hope. And so what I was hoping to do was was to go back into the 80s and talk about the music. So let's talk about the music a little bit because I think this would be a nice stroll down memory lane. And then I'm also going to ask you guys, because my people are awesome. I had a revelation last night. Again, another revelation when I had all these videos popping up. Was this is that I'm going to ask you guys these questions. I want you to say yes or no. All right, you ready? This is going to be a serious moment. All right, this is a serious moment, and I do want you all to answer. Do you have someone in your life that really hurt you? And like really hurt you? Do you have a family member, especially, that really hurt you? All right. Now, out of those people, I love that, Courtney. All right. Do you have a family member that has done it? Because I'm going to ask you to do something now that is very, very, very difficult. Very difficult. I want you to text them. Do you have their phone number? I want you to text them out of the blue. You ready? I want you to do it. I want you to see if you can do it. I want you to text them. And I want you to tell them what you appreciate about them. That's it. And then let it go. All right, Lisa, it's going to take some time. All right, I'm just telling you. Now, if it's someone who's like physically abused you or anything like that, that's a different thing altogether. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who was inconsiderate, someone who betrayed you, someone who, might have stolen from you or whatever it is, and forgive them. All right. That's what I want you to do. That's your assignment for today. Because I realize that, you know, y- a lot of people don't even realize what they've done because they're in their own space. Some of them are shitbags and they're very bad. But Some of them are out there and they don't even know. And I've had a few people that have come up to me in recent years that have called me and they've gone or texted me and they've like, I'm really sorry for what I've done to what I did to you. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you have to do that. What I'm trying to say is that you try and see the good things in them. And this isn't like a huggy, kissy, like kumbaya moment. It's about you and what happens with you. Because I realized, like, if one of these days I told you what has happened to me in the past, you would be like, what? Especially in business. Anyway, just consider doing it, especially if it's like, someone who pushed you out the family because of COVID. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that. There was a lot of that. Like I said, I don't mean if someone raped you or, physically hurt you, then no. But it really does help to let that go. And so, all right, even though we didn't get 10 super chats, I'm going to open the floor to your questions for the last 10 minutes. And because I couldn't get online, if I can get back online again, because I've got to talk to my people on X, I'll try and come on again later on tonight if you guys will be up for that. All right, but I have to do. I didn't want to delay it anymore because my Brits are there, and I love my Brits. Right, they're my peeps. So I had to do it for my Brits. So, all right, I'm going to look now. Right now, questions. I'm waiting. Lisa, meet you where you are, darling. You know what I mean? I just want you to think about that. Just think about it. Okay? Just think about it. What is the one thing you don't like about Trump? That's a really great question. His inability to admit that he was wrong on the COVID vaccine. I don't like that at all. And, but I don't look to Trump to be my kind of moral guide. You know what I mean? I don't look to him for that. I mean, I don't even look at Pope Leo to be my model, my moral guide. But I think I give Trump a lot of grace because of what he's gone through, and I think that you need someone that is a fighter. Else he would have been crushed. Anyone else would have been crushed. What he's gone through. So let's have a look. All right. Chris B says, "Sup, Matt? What are you waiting on? What do you mean, buddy? What do you mean? What are you waiting on?" Crazy Cook, I am not going to be on Sarah's today. At least I don't think so. I was yesterday. That was a lot of fun. My girls, me, no, tomorrow I am. Of course, Spider Unlimited said, have you ever watched Keeping Up Appearances? Of course, Mrs. Bouquet, right? Mrs. Bucket. Question, The Clash or the Specials? Oh, that's a really good. It's got to be the Specials for me, I think. I'm a little bit of a ska guy. I do love the Clash though. She needs an outro. And Hardy Harmonica says, tell Sarah she needs an outro. Yeah, she cut me off yesterday. And I'll tell you why. It was because like when we have monitors, we have a time thing at the bottom that tells you how long you've got. And because she was in a remote location, she was getting a countdown in her ear, but there was a delay. So, and she said to me afterwards, she goes, I'm really sorry. I'm like, don't be silly. I mean, we're really good friends. So she was getting it on a delay, so she just missed it. And I couldn't see the countdown because of the way it was framed up on my computer. Oh my gosh, Zero, you're killing me. This is a really good question. The Specials or Bad Manners? You know what? Well, because the first song I ever bought was Ghost Town by the Specials, it's got to be the Specials. Yeah, that's what happened, Nick. So I couldn't. Oh, my little 2-year-old. If you know what, it's. I can't believe I'm 52 and I've got a 2-year-old, so I can't turn. I wish you could see him. He's so beautiful. Um. All right. I need one too. You think you want me to do an outro? I can get an outro. I can do that. Patsy or Adina? All right. So this is a funny question. Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs says, question from Avfab, Patsy or Adina? That character, Patsy's, no, I don't know if it's Patsy or Adina, but that was a combination of two people who I know in the fashion industry. I know them. And actually, I'm not going to say who it is because the one of those names is the first name of the woman. And I knew her daughter, and her daughter is just ridiculously good looking. Um, just really good looking. She was actually, for a model, she was short because normally, back in my day, they didn't take anyone if you're a model below like 5'7". For a girl, they're all 5'7", 5'8". That's changed now, but her daughter was shorter, but I mean, just one of the most beautiful faces. I could tell you a video she was in actually, but it was the woman that they were based it on was a woman who did catwalk shows. She was the woman that coordinated the catwalk shows, and um, she was crazy, but in a great way. I mean, you have to be, and I really liked her a lot. So that's a little bit of a personal question to me, and I can't separate them. I can't separate them. They're both really funny. I mean, obviously Patsy. I love Jonah Lumley. Um, all right. Let's have a look. Yeah, this town is coming like a ghost town. Oh, not a question. Thanks for introducing me to Patrick Coffin. If you don't follow Patrick Coffin, go follow him. His courses are amazing. All right, let's get some more questions in. Did you get to play with real snakes in anacondas? Hunt for the blood orchid? No. We were in Fiji shooting that, and that was rather amazing. All right, let's have a look. Patty's for Halloween. That's funny. Yep. So I should really say this. I should really give my plug to Crockett Coffee, a company started by Buck and Maston Sexton and Clay Travis. It's amazing coffee. What can I say? It's roasted here in America by a father-son combo. It's really, really tasty. I love it. I'm actually drinking the organic roast right now, and it's got a bit of if you guys have got it, you got the organic roast. It's really flavorful. Or it's dark. I mean, it's dark, but it's really flavorful. So yeah, they also donate money to Tunnels to Towers. And if you go over to Crockett Coffee right now, you will get 20% off all over the store. So go check it out. It's very good. Ask Mike D. Let me know. Have you guys who's got Crockett Coffee so far? If you're gonna get coffee, get it from seriously, like buy it from someone that doesn't hate you. It's really silly, right? Why are you giving these people who hate you, your money, your hard-earned money, and then they just take it and they spend it on things that you hate? So, and I have, by the way, I'm building out a store, so it'd be good for you guys to go over there. Got some merch. I showed you the other day. I've got the Marsden logo, drinking mug, and all that. Oh, there you go. Mikey D says approaching my second order. It's good, isn't it? Like seriously, it is really good coffee. And I can't do without coffee, man. I mean, I did like for the first 2 weeks after my surgery, I didn't have it. Oh, there you go. Crockett Coffee. Promo code Matthew 20 for discount. Thank you very much, Spider. And you get a sparkly line. Come on, let's get some more questions in. You guys don't have any questions? Exactly. Sport, small business, and great people. Because they came to me and they're like, we want to support your channel. We want to boost it. So that way you get something and you don't just donate. Even though you should just donate because I'm awesome. Just saying. Somebody's got to feed Archer. I'm just saying. That's all right. Rachel says, don't like coffee. You can go over there and get some mushroom coffee. Don't know what it tastes like. I have no idea. But their coffee is very, very good. It is excelente. And you get stuff like this. I like this. It's a very cool cap. Crockett coffee. Crockett coffee. You know, guys, get your coffee. Oh, you gave me two more questions. Okay, so put them in again, Courtney, so I can read it because I'm a little bit of a go back up. Nick says, "Who's the one person who you loved to work with?" Wow, I mean, I've had a few actually that I have loved working with. Where do I start? All right, so I loved working with Eric Banner. He was great. I loved working with Bill Fickner, like one of the sweetest guys ever. I loved working with my friend Ian Virgo. One of these days, I'll get him on the show. All the guys from Black Hawk Down were pretty amazing. Working on Anacondas with Morris Chestnut was great. With Johnny Mesner, amazing. The fact that I got to work with Stallone was kind of incredible. Working with Bruce Willis was something I always wanted to do, so it's kind of great doing that. I think that as far as like the sweetest person I'd say that I've worked with, I mean, I loved working with, I'll tell you, it was really great as well, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like, Jennifer Love Hewitt is just amazing. She's an amazing person. But I think Graham McTavish is probably the guy that I really loved working with the most. And I wish we could do more work together because he's a really, really nice guy. Lisa Perch, she's the first one today. 10 Matthew Mosen channel memberships. There you go. If you got a membership from the most awesome, and might I say, delicious. Isn't that what that guy said? Follow me. I'm delicious. Lisa Perch, sparkly lion for you. And I am. So I do want to ask you guys, sparkly lion plushie. I've got Archer the Wonder Dog stuff. I haven't got an Archer the Wonder Dog plushie. I'm going to try and find it. Would you want one? Because, it's Archer the Wonder Dog. Let me look back. And I love to work with. If you could bring your entire family to one place to visit, where would it be? That's a really great question. All right, so there's a few places in the world that I've been that have been really, really amazing. I don't know if they are anymore, so I'll give you like a few. So Fiji, amazing. Like if I could get everyone in my family over to Fiji, stay at the resort that I stayed at, not the one that I stayed at when I was filming because we're in the jungle, but like another. I mean, it was just spectacular. Like I look back there, the diving was incredible, unbelievable. So Fiji was amazing. Cape Town, South Africa is one of the most beautiful places on the planet with some of the most beautiful people in the world. Like they call them the Cape Coloreds. I don't know if that's like politically incorrect to say now, but that's what they called them when I went there. Just a spectacularly beautiful place, like dramatic natural beauty. You can go down to the point and you can literally see the colors of the two oceans coming together. It is unbelievable. The food is unbelievable. The people are unbelievable, super friendly, apart from the ones that carjack you and kill you. But apart from that, it was great. And I think I got to say Malta as well. Like Malta's incredible. Half of my family is there, right? On my wife's side. But I have to say Navarre, Florida, I think. Because it's got some of the most beautiful beaches that you will ever see. And it is spectacular. America is a country of massive natural beauty. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I went up to Maine and I'd never really considered going to Maine. And I go up to Maine and I'm like, this is just gorgeous. It's very, very beautiful. It's a very, very beautiful country. So, all right, here we go. Mike D says, "Do you think landscape is changing? That you might come back in fashion with the movie studios as they try to reach out to conservatives?" No, they're never going to come to me. Never. And part of the problem is conservatives don't look after other conservatives. So no one will go out there and say, "Hey, go back to Matt." Because I don't have any. This is what I'm trying to tell you about building things. I have no real value in Hollywood anymore. I'd have to do a couple more movies, and I'd like that. But why would Hollywood come to me when conservative companies don't come to me? They don't come to Nick Searcy either. They don't come to us. They don't go to Dean Cain. They don't. All the guys that came out, they don't come to them. Do I think that Steve Hilton would make a good governor of California? Anyone's better. Like this, this is my other dog. This is Scuba, the English bulldog, and he would make a better governor than Gavin Newsom. Worst governor. I mean, that guy. It's Peter Principle, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. It's terrible. What do you say, Nutmeg, on James Woods? We love James Woods. When we're going to get you on Tulsa King? Seems like Stallone is getting everyone on that show. Not me. Don't know why. Don't know why. I think that he's just like moved on, and when you move on and you don't think about somebody, right? Because you've done that work. I mean, you got to remember when I worked with Sly, like I was with him on the film set, and then he was looking at me for literally a year afterwards on the when he was editing. So, all right, let me have a look. What else? What else we got? What else we got? Man, it's so awesome. What about the whole thing Zach Levy's trying to get off the ground? Don't know. Question, Matthew. If I have to emigrate to the USA, which place is the best to live? That's a really difficult question, actually. It's James Wood for governor, of course. I mean, yeah. Uh, you know what? I can tell you where I wouldn't go. I would not go to California. I would not go to New York. I would not go to Illinois, Chicago. Definitely not. Don't be going there. I think there's a lot of potential in states that nobody goes to, or they don't consider them. Because what happened was everyone looked around and said, "Well, where are we going to go?" And they mainly went out of Florida. I mean, out of California, New York, and they went to Florida or Texas mainly. The Carolinas, they did a little bit, but the snowbirds came down from New York and moved to Florida. So, I mean, I'd probably say Florida. I love Florida. I'm one of the rare ones, but I love like extreme heat. I love it. That's why I'm here in Texas. I mean, I did come to Texas thinking that it would be the center of entertainment in America, but unfortunately, our conservatives don't back the arts. So, thoughts on Zachariah Levy's vision about the studio and community? I think it's great for him. Whatever he wants to do, I think it's great. But we need multiple of these, and we need multiple backing. And yeah, what happens is, Jose, is when like someone comes up and you'll say a studio, they go Angel Studios. And you're like, okay. Have you seen many of the Angel Studios movies? You might have seen one or two, right? But not really, or The Chosen. But then you say, like, oh, the Daily Wire. What happened to the Daily Wire? What happened to Daily Wire? It made like 2 movies or 3 movies. Like that's it. And you haven't heard anything. And 2 of those documentaries. Well, so they did Run, Hide, Fight. Did they do another one after that? And they did Matt's 2 movies, right? Didn't he do 2 movies, Matt Walsh? But those documentaries. And then who knows what's going to happen with Pendragon? I probably don't think that's going to come out. I don't know. But they got a great guy in there. They got Dallas Sonnier in there, who's really solid. Yeah, New England is very liberal. But I mean, listen, I love Boston. I do love Boston. I wouldn't live there, but I do love Boston. Yeah, I haven't watched The Chosen actually. Apparently, it's very good. Friend of mine represents Jonathan Rumi. Yeah, Chris, James Woods is mega smart. He's mega, mega, mega smart. And by the way, he's massively talented. And the fact that they've like ostracized him, he's still in Hollywood. I don't know why he's still in Hollywood, but I mean, I've been to dinner with him once. Very, very smart. Um, yeah, I mean, he developed Oppenheimer. So, I mean, when people say can conservatives make stuff, they can if you give money. But the problem is he had to go through the studio system. It's simple as that. All right, I'm looking for more questions. You guys must know everything about me. Yeah, don't go to Illinois. Do not. This is the difficulty. If you go up the East Coast, the West Coast, if you go up the West Coast, it is, as I said before, it's some of the most dramatic geography you'll ever see in your life. It is unbelievable. I mean, if you want to drive out to Lake Tahoe, for example, from across from California, from the coast of California, you can see what's the? I think it's is it Denali, or I don't know if they changed the name of it. No, it's Denali in Alaska. I don't know which one it is. McKinley. McKinley. You see that, and it's massive, and it just goes out of nowhere. And I remember driving past it. I'm like, my goodness me. Yeah, Rachel, I think you're going to have to leave the UK. I think you're going to have to leave the UK. The UK's gone. I mean, it's just gone, and I would absolutely be making exit plans. Yeah, Mount Rainier. I've been up there as well. Washington State is spectacularly beautiful. It's like Colorado, but the liberals go there, right? Like Washington State is frigging mental. A lot of the stuff people look at California, they go, "That's the most liberal state." It's not actually. Washington is way more liberal than California, so that is saying something. I mean, those guys are full on commies up there. It's really bad. Oh, good. He's working with Zachary Levy, working with Eric. That's great. That's all right, Courtney. That doesn't matter. If you could put if you could put 5 bands on the roster for the perfect concert right now, who would they be? They can be alive or dead. Wow, that is a fantastic question. Okay, 5 bands. Well, you got to put the Beatles. You got to put the Stones. Probably Queen. Okay, so Beatles, Stones, Queen, Zeppelin. Oh, the last one's a tough one because I'm like, who would that be? Like from my taste? Oh, the Police. There you go. Said bands. Now Bowie doesn't count. He's not a band. I think that's a pretty good setup, right? That would be a mega band. I'd have to put, even though I'd put another. I could probably do 10, right? So my top 10 bands to watch live would be the Beatles, the Stones, Zeppelin, Queen, the Police, U2. I've seen them; they're pretty amazing, even though I can't stand their politics. All right, who else would be in there? I have to go back to the 80s, right? I'd actually put Duran Duran in there. Actually, I'd love to see him live. I haven't seen him live. Um, hmm, that's 7. You got to be careful because I would have a couple of Judas Priest come from the same, like literally across the street from where I grew up. Where my mom is right now, Judas Priest came from directly opposite there. And they used to live in the same block of flats that I did. Um, maybe Ooh, this would be controversial. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Metallica, but I know that they're really good. I just don't know their material that well. So no, I can't put Metallica in because I don't really know their material. Iron Maiden. Let me think about that. Who else? Who would I have in? Because I know I'm thinking. Oh, the Beach Boys. Come on, you got to put the Beach Boys in there. I'd love to see the Beach Boys. My goodness me. And I've actually seen Prince and the New Power Generation. Probably the Yardbirds would be pretty amazing. And ELO. There you go. Deacon Blue. Do you remember Deacon Blue? Deacon Blue. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. That's how I used to do it, right? Do you remember? I found that song the other day. It was amazing. I put the Zeppelin in there, Eliza. The Zepp have got to be in there. Nine Inch Nails, a good call as well. That's a good call. I like their version of Cars. It's great. Yeah, of course I'll put ELO in. I'm from the Midlands. You got to put ELO in. You got to have a living thing playing on there. Mr. Blue Sky. Come on now. Elton John. I've seen Elton. Can I tell you a little bit of a story? Do you guys want to hear my Elton John story? Did I tell you this story before? I might have told you this story before. Do you want to hear my hit me with your rhythm stick? Do you want to hear my Elton John story? Did I tell you before? Come on. I think I told you before. Hey, listen, the Pink Floyd, good shout. The Who, good shout. I was actually thinking the Fleetwood Mac as well. But the Police, I've been listening to the Police a lot recently. A lot. I mean, Merry Christmas, everybody, Slade. So I got invited, I'll tell you, I got invited to Wembley Stadium by Elton John. And he sent a car for me. I think it was a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. So he sent me a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, picked me up, and I go to Wembley Stadium, the old Wembley Stadium, and we go in, and I've got my own room, and it's got a bartender in it, and it was kind of weird, right? Because I was like, okay, I've got this like VIP room backstage, like not front stage, and they were like, Elton's going to come and see you in a minute. I was like, okay. And I remember exactly what the time was, right? So it was like 7 o'clock. Am I sitting there waiting, no Elton? Then one of the ministers that's still in government now, Peter Mandelson, like popped his head in. He was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hello." Like it was just random. It was just very, very weird. But this will tell you how crazy my life was back then. And then I'm waiting. It's going like 7:15, 7:20, 7:25, and I've got my own bar there. And I'm like, I didn't drink for some reason. I mean, it's a fully stacked bar in a room for me with a woman there, and it was kind of awkward. And then next thing you know, like Elton comes in and he's holding 6 times platinum or 7 times platinum Candle in the Wind. Because if you remember, I think Diana died. Was it 98? It could have been 97, could have been 98. Anyway, no, it was 98. It was 98. Because I got a place in London in 98. And it was very, very strange. So anyways, he goes in, he goes, oh, they had to give me this. So I got 7 times platinum. And I was like, okay. And he goes, sorry, I couldn't hang out. Enjoy the concert. And he's gone. And he was wearing a bright purple suit. I can even remember what he was wearing. And I was just like, that is totally random. And the funny thing is, I'd seen him multiple times before because he's a patron of the National Youth Theatre. And so he used to have all the kids from National Youth Theatre come and watch his concerts. So I'd seen him play upside down, on the piano and everything. It's kind of amazing. So, all right, I'm just going to look back. Matthew, are you concerned about your son in the UK? Yeah, I am. I'm concerned about everybody in the UK. I would be very, very hardcore if they wanted me to go back to the UK because they would be calling me bad things because these people are going to get shipped out. I saw something the other day where, there's a bunch of Afghanis that actually, the Afghanis interpreted for a lot of British groups, and they were really heroic and they love Great Britain, they love America. And the Afghanis over there, like, don't be putting my picture out there or associating me. And I know someone here like that who's like, don't be putting he's Iraqi though. So don't be putting my name out there because I could do an interview with him and he's one of the most heroic men you would ever meet. He's amazing from Iraq. And he's like, no, they would come and kill me. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. That means they're here. In excess is good. Sing us that song that was a hit for you. Well, I had two. At the Heart's Long Desire. I can't do it right now because my throat is still, you know, um, it hasn't recuperated yet. So, Rachel, I hope so. You're gonna have to start, doing some drastic stuff. All right, guys. Well, I've been on nearly an hour and a half now. Thank you for coming over. I'm going to see if my stupid thing is working again. Very grateful for all of you. Thank you for supporting the channel. I will be getting up the. Putting up the. See, it's kind of weird, right? I've got nearly 18,000 people subscribed, and we have 45 people here right now. That is crazy. I mean, it is. It's crazy. But I'm very grateful for you. I'm very, very grateful for you. So, anyways, I'm going to go and see if this software will work. And I'm glad to be back, guys. I'm glad to be back. I'm still not 100%. I know I might look like I am. I mean, you can see this, but I still get wiped out, still get a little bit tired. I'm only like 2 weeks out from the surgery, coming up to 3 weeks. So it was major surgery. So I wanted to come back and talk to you guys because I appreciate you so much. So thank you. Remember, not all actors are like this. I promise. I might see you later on tonight. Maybe. If not, I'll see you on Friday. God bless you. Bye bye. Let's see how I stop this now. Bye bye.